If it's misaligned to your identity, your dream, your skills, and your talents, it's disempowering because it's a distraction. It's a waste of time. Education is meant to set the foundation of who we become, of our success. But a lot of people, especially young people, have gone through education and come out of it more confused than ever. What is going on? Especially what is going on in Africa? Because in Africa, we have the highest rate of young people. But in terms of entrepreneurship, businesses, and just thriving, it is quite questionable if we are doing relatively well in comparison to other parts of the world. My name is Belsaba of Belsaba Consultants, and we come to you every week talking all things wellness, productivity. We are on a mission and a purpose to accelerate people into their higher selves. And that is why today we're also just tackling the big topic of education. I recently got a trigger. I got triggered. This is how I got to this conversation. Within our organization, we wanted to hire somebody to come and join in. And when this person came, they just started just spilling all their issues. Oh my God, my phone is not working. I don't have transport money. Oh, this and the third, you know? And you could just see how this person came in with a sense of entitlement. And then we're like, you know what? Life happens. People go through things. Let's give them a chance. And then we just gave them goals and targets and said, there you go. Do. And for certain tasks, the person had to also think for themselves. And guys, it was just such a disappointment. I'm laughing because it's a coping mechanism that I engaged, but it was not funny in the moment. And it just got me so triggered because you realize that when people are youthful, that's when they have a lot of energy to achieve a lot of things. But when I look at my country, I'm like, it's like things are in a plateau, a stagnancy of sorts. And then when you interview people, you try to hire people and they come with such an attitude and they're barely able to even finish tasks. We're like, okay, what is going on in the universities? What are people doing? So it just sent me down a rabbit hole that I've been on for a couple of years. And this is how the educational system, currently the way it's set up, is setting you up for failure. And I know that possibly somebody who's earning 40,000 in the corporate world is going to think, oh, this video is not for me. Even the one who's a CEO, they're going to be like, oh, this video is not for me because the educational system has gotten me to this level and I've achieved. But if you want to live life on your terms, and if you want to be a self-directed person, then this is definitely a video for you, whether you're a CEO, whether you're earning a lot of money, because there is a breach that happens in the educational system that makes people unable to pursue their lives, to pursue their dreams in a diligent and a systematic way. And this is why. Let's take a little lesson in history. Where do we come from? You look at the different revolutions when it comes to our careers or the workforce, right? We look at just the most recent history, where we come from. We come from the agricultural phase where a lot of people were doing a lot of farming and rearing of animals. And there was a lot of barter exchange system in terms of how people played economically. From then on, things moved on to the Industrial Revolution, where you could automate a lot of things, where there were machines and technologies to do different things that human beings used to do. So now when you come into this Industrial Revolution and this automation of different machines, that means you need a workforce of people to operate those machines. And in my limited research, limited because I would challenge you to give me a different viewpoint, I then realized that, oh, the education system came about to have people have an awareness and an ability to follow directions, so that when they get into the industrial revolution or to the knowledge economy where there's a lot of soft skills now, they're just able to follow instructions of the system at a click of a button or at the computer at the desk. So now you can be like, oh Belle, what are you even saying? When you look at the education system currently, you would have to cram a lot. You are given a certain number of facts. You're told that here are the facts, follow these facts. And if you're able to memorize these facts, we reward you. We give you an A. We give you an A star. If you're able to follow this set of instructions and know them diligently, you are the cleverest of them all. And I've passed that. I used to be that student who every single time they'll be getting the prizes and they'll be clapping hands for. And at a point when I had my spiritual awakening, I had to have a meltdown and realize that no, it's not that I was intelligent, it's that I knew how to follow instructions when they were given to me. Do you know what happens in the long run when that happens to you? You end up just knowing how to follow instructions. You don't know how to self-direct. You don't know how to say, this is what I want to do today and I'm going to do it fully. This is the project that I want to achieve and I'm going to do it fully. And I don't need to see something in the external environment to know what I'm going to do. I just need to look inside of myself and say, this is what I'm going to do, and do it. How many people actually in this community, Botswana, that we're in can do that? How many people in Africa can people just self-direct and say, every morning, Monday to Friday, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to do this and tackle this task. So you'd find that the education system feeds you, spoon feeds you, and then it rewards you when you're able to follow the instructions. When you get to the corporate sector, what happens? There's a system and there's a set of directions, and then they're telling you, follow these directions, automate, do this and do this to achieve our end goal, our desired end. But what if you want to be an entrepreneur? What if one day you want to retire at 50 and start a business? And this is the mistakes that a lot of CEOs make. They would think that, oh my God, I have achieved this life as a CEO of so-and-so organization and I've been earning this amount of money. And they think that life is linear in that way, that when they get into entrepreneurship or into business, the same way they've been climbing the corporate ladder is the same way that they're going to achieve success in their lives, and it's going to be the straight pathway. And then when they get there, they realize that what? Nobody's giving you directions. Nobody's giving you creativity. You have to come up with that. And then you sit down and then yaring, literally silence. Because what? You can't tell yourself directions. You can't tell yourself what to do. And that is why we're sitting here in this video today, because this is a blind spot that a lot of people don't realize about education. That the more you're given instructions and then you enter, it prepares you for this corporate environment where you're going to be given instructions. And then all you know what to do is to be a follower in your life. Because what do? You follow instructions, then create instructions and give instructions to people. So it's just breaching a big fundamental aspect of ourselves, which is our inner voice and our creativity. Because the education system as well, most of the times it's wired for the left brain. The left brain is the logical brain, and then the right brain is the creative brain, the imagining brain. If you're constantly practicing one muscle, only that muscle is going to grow, and then the other ones are going to just wither away. And it's the same thing that happens to us. The education system cultivates your memory, cultivates your ability to follow instructions. And mind you, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It's a great thing. But if you want a life where you want to start a business, where you want to become an entrepreneur, where you want to be creative and think for yourself, then solely relying on education system as it is right now is not the right way. And then the other thing that I just find it so limiting about the educational system is how it doesn't teach you how to create a program for your life. Mind you, this is a program. You get there, they tell you, this is what your timetable is going to look like. This is what you're going to do on an everyday basis. This is what you're going to learn. Your talents, your skills that you're interested in might be different or misaligned to the education that you're receiving. Instead of complementing that education when you get home and say, I'm now gonna learn what they did at school, which is draft a timetable. I'm gonna create a timetable for myself, and then I'm gonna create a program of learning so that I can program my mind for the reality that I wish to live. That is not happening. And that is a big breach, because that means your mind is programmed for reality that is not your dreams. You have a dream. You think, oh my God, I want to achieve my dream. I'm going to go after me. But the program in your subconscious mind is not aligned to achieve the dream that you want to achieve. And that's where the compromise is. Then you say, oh, my things are not working. And Susanna, hey, they're bewitching me in my village. No, nobody's bewitching you in your village. You've bewitched yourself because you've been passive in your reality. You have signed up for an education that is not empowering you, but rather disempowering you. We need to come out of this illusion that education is empowering. Not all education is empowering. If it's misaligned to your identity, your dream, your skills, and your talents, it's disempowering because it's a distraction. It's a waste of time. So guys, these are the little 2 pointers that I just wanted to share today to tell you about how the education system may have limited you, and you need to bring yourself out of that. And how do you do that? I'll sing it, and I'll sing it all the time. Meditation. Breathe. Connect to source. Sit down by yourself. Connect to your inner voice. And literally from then on, when you're able to really hear your voice, then you're able to get into sitting down and saying, what are my talents? What life do I want to live? And then you develop a program. You sit down and you say, this person that I want to become, what are all the things that they need to know? What are all the things that they need to learn in order to become that person? After you make the list of all those things, then you find the different places that you're going to be educated. If you can't sit and read a book and create a program for yourself, that is okay. All you need to know is what you need to study, and then from then on, literally go online, universities, and start learning different things that need to make you the person that you are. As you see me here sitting in my entrepreneurial field, if I'm to share a bit of my educational background, I studied law. I did a master's in international development. When I became a makeup artist and I became an entrepreneur, I basically started learning marketing online. I went to BAC, a university in my country. I signed up for 2 professional courses, finance for non-financial managers, public sector project management, because I had basically sat down and said, I want to have in 4 or 5 years a PhD in business, and I want to master marketing. I want to master entrepreneurship. I want to master storytelling. I want to master writing. Once I sat down, then I started looking at different educational departments or universities that can afford me that education. So this is how you wire your education for your fitting. But the people watching, this is an outcry for the crazy things that are happening currently with young people. We're confused more than ever when we leave schools. We're unable to chase our dreams. We're given tasks within a work environment and we can even barely achieve them. What's the point of going through school if you're going to come out of it without capacity and capable and heavily breached inside of yourself? My name is Belse Abo Ame. Like, comment, share this video if you resonate. I'd love to hear from you. Is what I'm saying incorrect, correct? What are your thoughts in relation to it? Thank you so much for watching this video. See you again next week, Wednesday, when we tackle more issues to do with productivity, wellness, and just accelerating ourselves into our higher selves.